Hello there, Timesphere listeners. Cale here with a little bit of a preamble because this week's episode is coming out a little bit later than we thought it was because of the Pokemon episode that came out earlier this week. As the time you're watching this, if you haven't watched that, we discuss all the Pokemon Day announcements, and me and my buddy Lou too, who is an archivist and Pokemon historian, go way too much into details about like all the Pokemon announcements, some Gen 10 predictions, a bunch of Game Freak history and whatnot. But this week's episode for the regular Timesphere is Scott and I discussing PlayStation stuff, Xbox stuff, obviously, the Xbox layoffs and everything. I say layoffs, the Xbox change in leadership, and then some High Guard stuff, which is now the High Guard stuff is no longer super applicable because High Guard is now confirmed to be shutting down on March 12th. So some of the stuff this episode might seem a little out of date as usual because, hey, Timesphere, always super timely, our whole gimmick, but just wanted to get that out there. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Leave a comment below with your kind of thoughts on this stuff, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Timesphere, where we have timely discussions that are never on time. Scott, we were talking about it just now, but yeah, we'll get in. Before we talk, we're going to talk Xbox, which we're already late to the discussion on that because it happened the day after we recorded last week. We don't care. We're not a freaking news show. We're a discussion show. If you need the news read out to you by us, Lord, look at the landscape, guys.
It was a terrible day for it to happen. I remember because I was watching Giant Bomb doing their Unprofessional Friday, and you could like see on their faces that they're like, "Do we stop and like do a news thing? Like, do we?" They were like, "Do we?" And they're like, and so they gave like brief takes, but then kept playing what they're playing. Kind of funny. Meanwhile, like quickly, like
yeah, they pivoted. They could pivot it
to,
completely to like a special edition.
yeah, they're like, I mean, for good reason. The big story. Now
yeah,
we'll get
if
to
you
it,
need
but,
if you need a news show, like we're happy if we're your news show. I know there's like 30 people that listen to the show like all the time, like every week we get like 30 people like consistently, sometimes more, sometimes less. We're very happy to have you. But if we're your news source, like we're happy to have you. There's better places to go like get your actual news, unless you just like listening to us recap the couple of news stories that are like the big ones. But we'll get to Xbox in a minute. We're going to talk about Xbox. There's like an AI thing that happened that is stupid and games media is involved. And then we got some other gaming stuff to talk about. But we were talking about it before this, and I haven't really talked about like, because a bunch of my friends are like, why haven't you like joined a bunch of fighting game, like our fighting game tournaments, or like why haven't you been playing fighting games recently? And I don't think people understand. I've mentioned it before, like on and off. It's been about like October 2024, I think is when it first happened, because it was when we were doing the pod. We were doing like the testing for the pod because we did like or when did Sparking Zero come out? Because we did the preview for Sparking Zero. I went to the preview for Sparking Zero, and we recorded an episode. That was like during our test period, right? I want to say
Dragon Ball Sparking Zero released.
It came out
October
last year,
7th, 2024.
Yeah, so it was like
2
before
years
that.
ago.
So
A year and a half ago.
Yeah, we have technically, Scott. We are a 2-year-old podcast almost.
Wow.
The episodes don't show it because we've been inconsistent during that first year, but we have already celebrated our first anniversary. But
it's like when football players like miss a ton of time with injuries. They're like,
yeah,
they're injury concerned, but they've also like they're also like, oh, they have 6 seasons of experience, but they actually only have 4. So it's like,
yeah, if you're counting like games played.
We still got our legs. Our legs.
Yeah, we haven't wasted our legs yet. We haven't torn our we tore our ACL for like a half season. But yeah, so when I went to that preview, I think it was September 2024. I flew out to San Diego to preview the Tekken DLC and Sparking Zero. It was like the first hands-on preview for that game before it came out in October. And I realized, like, going to the flight, because I didn't wear glasses because I had LASIK in 2021, that my eye, like, things were just a little blurry, like, and I was like, this is weird. I'm going to go to the eye doctor when I get back. So I went to the eye doctor when I got back. And that eye doctor was like, it looks like your eye is just really dry, to like take some, like, go get some eye drops or whatever. And I've done that before because you have to do that a lot when you're post-op surgery for LASIK. You have to keep your eyes lubricated because they're very irritatable. So I was like, okay, sure, whatever. You're the doctor, you know best. Then I go back like 4 months later because it didn't improve at all. And then that doctor, who's like the head doctor of the place, is like, oh no, you got like a degenerative issue in your eye. Like, we don't know what is going on. Like, I've seen it before. It's not like anything too bad, but like your eye is like fucked. And it's just my right eye. My left eye is still 20/20, or my left eye is still perfect vision. So my vision and it's only gotten worse. It got worse over the year because I went back in December. So, and she was like, "Oh no, it's way worse." And I'm like, "Okay, reason, explanation, help, doctor who knows what's going on and I don't." Outside of giving me glasses, telling me to get glasses again, which does help. It does help balance. It's just I have terrible double vision some days, which leads to insane headaches. But they were like, "Oh yeah, so here's what your eye looked like when you came in. This is what your eye looks like now." And I'm not a doctor, but those graphs looked very bad.
Yeah. When you can tell,
yeah,
it's like, oh, this is okay.
They're like, yeah, so like this part is real bad. This is like where you're like, and they're like, it wasn't an issue of like your LASIK or whatever. I can't even remember the name of the condition I have off the top of my head because it's some big ass name that I never heard of before. And they're like, this is your new prescription. You can go get new glasses and that'd probably help. And I was like, awesome, because there's nothing I can do. I can't have LASIK again or reparative surgery. The only surgery I can have is to like prevent it from degrading more if it continues getting worse. And so I was like, awesome. So I'm just kind of fucked because no matter what, like if I take my glasses off right now and do this, I can see everything perfectly. It takes a second to adjust, but I can see everything perfectly. I can read the doc in front of me, word for word. If I do this, can't see shit.
Oh, wow.
Like everything is blurry. Like everything's a smudge.
Have you considered wearing an eye patch to fighting game tournaments?
You have no idea. Do you know what Desmond's first reaction was when I told him this? He's like,
"Get an eye patch."
No, he said you can get a monocle.
What, wait, how would that? I thought a monocle was like a big, big lens essentially.
It is, but it's it's the one that like the Monopoly man wears, where it's like in one eye, and it's just the glasses. But this eye's perfect, so if I get one that's the prescription for this eye, it would work because it would correct the vision in this eye.
Well, can you also just get glasses that have different prescriptions?
That's what I have. That's what I have right now.
Okay, yeah. But no,
like,
Desmond
glasses do work. They're just not perfect. It's still very off.
Yeah.
I can't, like when I blink sometimes it still throws off my vision. Like it's just not great. But there's nothing I can do. So this was like a whole discussion that I had with people. They're like, why haven't you, like recently, they were like, why haven't you been playing fighting games as much anymore? It's because my depth perception is fucked.
Well, fighting games are 2D, so what's the problem?
Yeah, I mean, like it's just one of those things where it's like it's just like I'll get headaches faster. Everything. I'm like, this sucks. And now they told me
if you have to do that goal of doing Marvel Rivals comp, you're gonna be miserable.
I'm gonna be miserable no matter what doing that, just because I don't like comp. But
you do it with your eyes closed.
I'll play the Daredevil where I'm just blindfolded.
Yeah, just
I have to play off of hearing. I have to learn the mask by hearing. But they told me I could get a singular lens. There's like a type of contact that's like a fancy heavy duty contact that you can get. That's like a moisturizing contact that has the prescription in it, and it like protects the eye for like a week before you have to take it out and like lubricate it or whatever. And they were like, yeah, $1,000, and you have to hope you get into this clinic that will give it to you. Otherwise, you can't get it. Also, we're not going to see you again until 6 months later, and maybe if it's worse by then, you won't be able to use the contact at all. And I'm just like you can tell. The worst part about this is like you can tell when it started, because if I just leave my eyes, I don't know how easily it is to tell on camera, but you can tell that the one that is affected, which is my right eye, like stays open even when my eyes are drooping. So like if I can completely close this eye, like I'm just completely relaxing my face right now. It has been such a change.
Well, the good news is in the future, under whatever this new healthcare system Trump is making up, you personally can negotiate with healthcare companies to get coverage, which I can't possibly see how that could go poorly. I love the idea of getting into a financial like negotiating my rate with the receptionist at the medical.
The receptionist is going to tell you, oh no, actually I don't do that. You have to go talk to a middleman at a company that's entire job is just to ring you for as much cash as possible.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's great.
So regardless of my situation and this shitty general healthcare situation, now we can talk about shitty leadership changes. And now I want to preface this. We don't have any evidence that this is actually going to be bad for Xbox yet. There's no like
not much that it's going to be good though either.
Okay, but we had no faith that Xbox was going to be good just with its current leadership either. After all the decisions that
True.
have been made,
True.
regardless. So
I
we
mean,
talked.
I mean, I mean, here.
Yeah,
Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
yeah.
Let's talk about
Well,
what happened. What happened?
last
That
week we
you
talked about
everyone's.
Sony. We talked about
Mhm.
Sony, and we're not. Sony leadership is all up in the air. Like PlayStation leadership specifically, questionable. Sony leadership in general, questionable, especially since some other stuff has come out since that about like some other things. Like I think we talked a little bit
Mhm.
about it, but like a bunch of anime fans, including myself, are like super concerned about like what it could mean for Crunchyroll because they have a monopoly on Western anime
Right.
industry, basically, including marketing and merchandising. With when they bought Right Stuff, which was like I love
Mhm.
so many people that love buying manga and love buying like figures for decent prices and like that were niche for like niche products and games and movies that a lot of places wouldn't stock. That was like a go-to place. They bought it. Now they're liquidating the entire Texas warehouse and moving out of their area. Like they're not going to keep a bunch of that stuff stocked. It's a whole mess. But now we're talking about Xbox, which last Friday they announced leadership changes. In that,
Mhm.
Phil Spencer's retiring, which according to some reports, which we're not going to go deep dive into right now, that was planned for a while. There had been rumors that he was going to retire for about a year and a half ish, and it looks
Mhm.
like about 8 months of that was accurate. 8 months ago
Mhm.
ish was when they started talking about him potentially retiring. Sarah Bond is resigning from Xbox, which that is the one that people are more focused on because Phil
Mhm.
retiring rumored. Everybody thought Sarah would take over, even though her
Yeah.
period of running the actual Xbox division,
Mhm.
because Phil went from head of Xbox to head of gaming at Microsoft, like the entire division, a couple of years back when Sarah got promoted or brought in.
Mhm.
So people thought Sarah was going to take over. Sarah resigning and leaving. That one's a more
Mhm.
complicated issue because a lot of people, and rightfully so, are saying that she's being used as a scapegoat. Now, whether that's
Mhm.
not deserved to be used as a scapegoat, but her time at Xbox is not a good point for the company. So there are a lot of people that are like, well, she wasn't going to be like, where was the good exit here? Was firing her the right call? Was like doing the messy situation? So good.
Here's I want to quickly talk on Sarah Bond real quick. I'm not gonna sit here and like say like, oh, she was the right person, that she was
Exactly.
screwed, blah blah blah. We don't know. My speculation is one of two things. Either one, she saw the writing on the wall that she was being set up as the fall person and said, well, screw this, I'm out. Or she felt that she was snubbed and that she was supposed to get this position, and they decided to go with someone else, and so she decided to quit. Here's what I find interesting. In the immediate aftermath of this announcement about this change in leadership, we get this, I believe it's a Verge article about
Mm.
sort of inside what was going on. And a lot of it does throw a lot of negativity onto Sarah Bond about, her this is an Xbox marketing
That's the
campaign,
big
not
one
really
that people
sitting,
were bringing up.
not
Yeah.
sit, not that people didn't like, that people within the company especially didn't like. That there were other things that people didn't. People say didn't like. Maybe didn't necessarily get along with her. Although there was like claim that although there was like this the reverse, that she was good with like partnerships, or there was a specific thing that people praised her for. But what it reminded me of is, and I talked to my partner and I were talking about this, and I pointed out that this happens in sports a lot.
Yep.
When a general manager or even a player, because it's kind of like Luca a little bit when he got traded, and then suddenly these reports came out. It's like, oh, Dallas was apparently concerned about his weight, or his giving him a long-term contract, or conditioning, or defensive
He was
effort,
an issue
and
in
it's
the
like,
locker room, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Those
and
things
then
always
it's
come out
like,
at certain points.
and it feels like the people who Verge and Windows Central and a lot of people who have a lot of sources at Xbox, to me, it kind of feels like that was the messaging that perhaps Xbox wants out
Mm-hmm.
there. That it is kind of like, oh, well, we're going to try and pin as much of this as we reasonably can on Sarah. And that's why it makes sense to go with this new person, etc. It comes across as like, I don't know, like a bit calculated from Xbox's standpoint. It's like that suddenly these reports come out and it's like, oh, well, Sarah was the problem. Um, that was just the way I interpret it. But replace it. So Spencer will be replaced by Asha Sharma.
Asha Sharma.
Uh, Apologies if I pronounced that wrong. Joined Microsoft in 2024. They were the president of the Core AI as the president of the Core AI product. They were previously at Microsoft a long time ago. They have also worked at being like the CEO of Instacart, was at
Instacart,
Meta for a
yeah,
long
Meta for a little
time,
bit. Yep.
but has sort of been like the AI person. And so immediately the gut reaction from us, I think a lot of people was, well, Microsoft is just going to become an AI company, which they have been already, but now it feels like maybe it's coming
So
for
this leads
Xbox.
into wrapping the bow on the previous leadership leaving. No one is saying that Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond weren't like good people and they love gaming and stuff. Like no one's ever going to doubt that Phil Spencer really likes games, especially
Yeah.
with like a bunch of the people that were like talking about how Phil would like reach out to people in his spare time, or how he would like talk to people at events and like genuinely be interested in conversations regardless of like the stake of who the person talking to him was or whatever. Like that kind of stuff is, you hear about that stuff all the time. The point being, Phil's exit was planned. We probably will not learn, at least for a while, what the Sarah Bond element of this was.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably get more interviews or more people talking about like the internal structure of Xbox and how things were falling apart at some point within the next couple weeks, especially
Mm-hmm.
as new leadership steps in and starts changing things more and more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of worried about how much of that will be narrative shaped by Microsoft in some way, shape, or form, especially with how these interviews, once they're going to start making the rounds, they're going to start making the rounds, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
Asha herself or uh like Matt Booty or someone,
I
because
mean,
Booty's still there.
we've seen, like, I've already seen clips of like Asha at different like AI conventions talking
Mm-hmm.
about how much she really loves AI. So
Yep.
I mean, she is all in on that stuff.
Not even that,
Um,
and other concerning things that she has talked about and put herself
right.
behind. Uh,
Um, I mean, we do have to say, I think it is worth pointing out that in her letter, that she did say that, they're not going to be doing soulless AI slop. They're not going to be
yeah, that's what we're gonna
sacrificing
get into here.
productivity and things like that to push things out the door. But then it comes down to, what does a company like Microsoft that is all in on AI, what do they think AI slop is? Because I think that's drastically different than what the general gaming audience,
Okay,
especially the online gaming
let
audience, think AI slop
let's
is.
focus on the her and like what this AI element might mean for Xbox, and then we can get what is Xbox / what is Microsoft now, because
Mhm.
my Windows 11 is being torn apart right now with how bad it is, performance
Mhm.
wise, coded wise, like just everything. And there's been no, it seems like no real push to push back on that or like fix things, or fix the narrative, because they've just like, oh, we got so many people installed, it doesn't matter. I'm never gonna like, I have Windows 11 installed on the ROG Ally because that
Mhm.
it came installed with that. If I didn't have
Same
to
with.
have that installed on that, I wouldn't, because I hate it. It's terrible. I try and stay in the gaming mode as much as
Mhm.
possible, just because I don't like running Windows 11. It's a garbage fire. But
Correct.
uh, so this is from GamesIndustry.biz. This is
Mhm.
Sharma talking to Variety in one of those interviews that we're talking about, where it's going to be a lot of fluff. It's not a lot of
Mhm.
substance. It's going to be a lot of just positioning, talking about where they want to be in the industry. Like the first things they talk about is how she is coming into gaming as a platform builder, wants the right to be trusted by players and developers. One of the first things she did when she announced this was like interact with like all the branded Microsoft game accounts on Twitter,
Mhm.
being like, welcome aboard, Spartan or whatever. And just like,
Mhm.
I'm like, it's so corny and so cheesy. And I don't think that she's not interested in games. Like, I don't think that is the issue. I think that the background of this, uh, because she's not just, she's taking on the role of the CEO and executive vice president. It's both. Like, she's running
Mhm.
the entire show and is now, and this is coming from the Microsoft side. So she is directly under and direct and connected to all of the Microsoft elements of this, whereas Phil Spencer was coming from the Xbox side, which is still Microsoft obviously and always has been, but coming up from the Xbox side. This is Microsoft putting someone from the Microsoft side into the Xbox system directly.
Yes.
That's where people are concerned, because she's like, AI has long been part of gaming and will continue to be. That's another tech bro term for like, oh, AI has always been around. Yeah, not the kind of AI you're talking about though. The kind of AI you're talking about is
Yeah.
Gen AI or the various kinds of AI that like the tech bros are trying to push now versus AI as a program where it's controlling NPCs. Like those are very different things.
Enemy AI has been talked about for decades now.
Exactly.
As
Like it's been around since like the earliest like video games, but that is not the same kind of AI, but because of how this stuff is always pushed, they try and confuse people as much as possible by using the same terminology so you can't separate the two in everyday conversations, because then you have to explain and then you lose people, or you don't or they don't have to explain and then they just gain the notoriety of the good stuff too. That's what they're trying to do here. So this is already a bad start to me trusting her being for the gamers essentially. Which is another thing you can't trust, because what kind of gamers is she for? That's another conversation you have to have in the online space.
Yeah, I'll say no. If she is being like, here's the thing, just by being put in charge of Xbox, her goal, I would imagine her goal is to genuinely help the brand and improve the brand.
Yes.
I mean, that's why and I don't doubt that she believes that. It's just, what does she, what does she think a positive future for the brand look like? That's what I want to find out, and that's what I think a lot of gamers want to find out. Because Phil's done a lot for the Xbox brand. He essentially came in after the Xbox One debacle and was put in charge and did a lot of positive things. He was advocating for cross platform play, backwards compatibility. There was a time that bringing on the Mojang, who made Minecraft, Bethesda, obviously, which as the Activision Blizzard thing was a much more impactful.
That one was also a lot messier. The Bethesda acquisition, was actually clean. That is one of the examples of that one has probably been a more positive version of the acquisition merger element in gaming that we don't see, because the Activision Blizzard one was so messy and so bad.
Even though to a degree, there have been some pretty famous missteps from Bethesda since. Redfall was obviously a big.
Yeah, but who's to say that stuff wouldn't have happened?
Sure. Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Without the Xbox
in fact,
element.
it's almost like, although to a degree, it's like someone at Xbox or Bethesda had to kind of step up and say, this isn't ready to be released. Why are we putting it out? But Bethesda was also they obviously kind of sucks what happened to Hi-Fi Rush after, but I mean, they were in charge when that came out. And then Indiana Jones, also a great game. And there was a time, and I do believe that there's a time where I do think that before its incredible price hikes, that Game Pass was genuinely the best value in gaming. Like when it was $15 for Ultimate, and you had there's a time, but there's a time after that, and when it had the new Call of Duties guaranteed on them, plus all the other stuff that was on there, where it's like if you played 2 or 3 games a year that were on the service, like AAA games, and they had all those as day one releases, then it was a better value just to have that, and then plus the whole catalog of all the old stuff as well. But yeah, I
look. She says here that Xbox is not going to chase short-term efficiency or flood our ecosystem with soulless AI slop. Games are always about will be art crafted by humans and created by with the most innovative technologies. There's another quote that happened like a couple days ago or yesterday or whatever, where she's like, we're not going to force our developers to use AI. We're not going to push it heavily in our studios, which is what Phil had said previously when asked about
Phil
this.
Has said, yes.
Yeah, this is not a new thing where it does.
Phil has said this. Todd Howard has said this.
Yes.
Where it's they're saying the right things, and it's kind of like, this goes back to our discussion about AI and Laren when we talked about it, where it's like, I think they are willing to try it just because they want to be more efficient. They realize the cost and the time it takes to make games is very high right now, and we see that with instances like Highguard, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But if a game doesn't come out and immediately hit, given all the time and money you put into it, it can be really devastating to a company. So I don't think companies are evil for at least checking it out.
No, but I think the evil ones are like Krafton, which just announced they hired a new person to run their AI R&D like testing
Yeah, they're
whatever.
hiring like AI roles.
That is
like
completely
corporate
pivoting to AI
roles.
regardless of the situation, because they are, that's the soulless stuff.
But
I
it seems
want,
like they've
yeah,
they've
go ahead.
they've they acknowledge that, like, they're using it for, to sort of make basic tasks go faster and to sort of improve, like make work easier for the employees. And yet they don't want to do generative AI, that they're being slow with it because they've tried some stuff. They said they've already tried some stuff and it doesn't seem to actually help them or be worth the cost or worth the effort. So uh, I just don't know. I mean, my bigger concerns about AI and Xbox are more about, like, with what's going on with AI as a whole outside of Xbox and how that's affecting the chip shortage and the cost of production and
Yeah, I'm
producing.
not
It's
worried
like,
about the game element as much as I'm worried about what this in general means for a push, because we've already heard, oh, we're gonna code games entirely with like the Xbox. Microsoft did the game coded entirely by AI that was like a Doom like thing that they could run on browser or whatever they did. They're trying to push Copilot as like the ultimate gaming accessory, where like you can ask it a question and it'll automatically tell you what to do in the games. Like
mhm.
that kind of integration is where I'm worried. I'm worried that whatever the next Xbox product is, because I can disable as much as they'll let me on the ROG. I've disabled and uninstalled Copilot. I've done that on like my PC and whatnot. You can still get rid of it and not do it,
Mhm.
but when I first like opened up or updated the Windows 11 portion of it, when I opened that, it was definitely like, oh yeah, Copilot here, like sign up and you can, or like activate these settings and you can have it in like your dashboard and you can just ask it questions. You can do this and do that. That is the
Mhm.
stuff I'm worried about, on top of all the RAM, like the
I,
memory, the
it
storage, the everything else.
it makes me wonder more about, what the future of, like, is there going to be an Xbox console in the future? 'Cause I think this hints more that they are going to go harder into trying to get cloud gaming to be a thing.
I think they're
I
still
mean, it
gonna
is a thing.
do
It is a thing
both,
right
but yeah.
now, but it is not.
Well,
It is not.
they've already
It's not
launched
as.
or are talking about launching the ad one, the one with ads, that you can, so you can access the cloud gaming stuff without having Game Pass, whatever. But
Mhm.
you have to watch ads at a certain interval or whatever. So they're already doing that, and so many other places are doing that too. We're not even going to talk about today that Amazon already cut another game and is probably leaning more into that too. But
Yeah.
before we get further into this, I want to bring up the other story where it's who interviewed this? Who did GamesBeat interviewed the one of the Xbox co-founders, Seamus Blackley,
Mhm.
and he basically said, because he left in like 2020 or 2002, and this was like so right after like the original Xbox launch was over, and he's basically like, he's made it Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, has made an incredible number of bets and invested an incredible amount of money and credibility in the transform model of AI future. Xbox, like lot of businesses that aren't the core AI business, is being sunsetted. They don't say that, but that's what's happening. I expect that the new CEO, Asha Sharma, her job is going to be as a palliative care doctor who slides Xbox gently into the night. It just seems really true. I imagine asking somebody if it made sense to put a major motion picture studio into the hands of somebody who didn't like movies, or a major record label into the hands of somebody who didn't have never seen a live show. Why would you do that? Well, you only do that if you're looking at the problem in a more abstract way. The natural consequence of the focus on AI is that AI abstracts every problem from the minds of the executives who believe in it. We're abstracting the problem with games as well. There's a core belief, and you can see it in what Satya said, that AI will subsume games like it will subsume everything. So that's just what I wanted to read from that interview. This is obviously GamesBeat. This is coming from
Yeah.
paraphrase from a VGC article by Andy Robinson. That's the issue. Is if
Mhm.
that is where we see this going, I still think there's going to be, with the release of the handhelds, with
Mhm.
the PC handhelds, and the change to what we're seeing in like the culture of buying uh hardware in gaming, because the PS5 and the Switch 2 are still selling well. Xbox is like whatever at this point. I think there will still be Xbox hardware,
Mhm.
but there's only going to be one box. The box is going to be multifaceted. It's going to be more like a PC, which everything's more like a PC now, except for Nintendo hardware. That's just how it is. Nintendo's hardware is weird, funky Nintendo stuff because they are a game first company on top of being a
Yeah.
tech company.
They can
Like,
do what they want. They're in their own
exactly.
world.
They can do whatever they want. They want to be different. They want to be creative, and they want to keep that like Nintendo element to all their products, because that's what keeps them above everybody else in terms of kind of the gaming element. But Sony and Microsoft are both more PCs now. They're both more PC-like with just their own infrastructure and operating systems and whatnot. The Xbox One's going to be more like that. Maybe it'll sideload stuff. Maybe you'll be able to use it more like a PC. Maybe it'll be a PC, just an Xbox-branded PC. Sure. The handhelds are going to be an option. That's going to be an option. The cloud's going to be an option. I think it's a triple threat. I think it's those three things. I do think that's still going to be considered a console. An Xbox-branded PC is still an Xbox console, just in the way we're doing things now. I don't think that's going away. The issue is we're sitting here looking at them putting someone that is not from a gaming background, which is something that happens all the time. There are people they can put in charge of gaming companies that are CEOs from other tech firms all the time. It is someone without a known or quantitative element in the gaming space getting put in charge of one of the biggest gaming companies at a time where her background in AI and AI development and AI pushing and whatnot coincides with all the big AI pushes, including one from one of the biggest companies in the world that just so happens to also run Xbox. Which is
I do wonder what happens years down the line when maybe not necessarily the AI bubble pops, but if it's definitely going to contract, because it does not feel like this is sustainable.
It's already contracting in terms of like a trust in the space kind of thing.
Yeah. It's kind of like a more extreme version of esports in a way, where everyone's throwing all their money into it.
It's actually a really good example.
I actually thought about this like a few weeks ago. I'm like, this is the new esports. It's like the big new thing. Everyone's throwing money at it because it's new and it's online and it can it's got limitless potential. And then the returns are not immediate. In fact, they're not even immediate.
I was going to say, at least esports had a way to get returns.
Yes.
They were small compared to the money, but
it also kind of got like, and here's the thing, there on esports, there was obviously like some valuations that were too high.
Absolutely.
That people expected to grow too high. It also kind of got fucked by the pandemic, let's be clear. Because now all the in-person events are all online. And while in a way it was able to pivot in the way some industries wouldn't, it still kind of took a hit from that. I mean,
it took a big loss. A bunch of the biggest production studios that were doing in-person events fell off or had to be acquired or had to sell off stuff or lost the access to things. I remember Beyond the Summit, one of their big things is when they didn't get the Dota Pro circuit. They'd been doing Dota. I mean, they were one of the original like big Dota, like independent Dota producers when it came to tournaments. And when they didn't get the Dota Pro circuit for NA or whatever Dota Pro circuit they were going to be running that season that they lost it, that basically put them under because it was Dota, it was Smash, and then a couple other like independent events that kept them going. And obviously some other things happened too, but that is a good example of just like esports. The evaluations are going to be. It's going to live. It's just not going to live in the way that everybody thought it was going to, and it's going to be at a much. But the issue here is this is like
it's not going to live in the way that these people who are pouring millions of dollars into investment, these
millions, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, billions actually. It's not going to come out the way they want
magnified
it. And then they're gonna what's it called? The investment's gonna retract harshly.
We are going to see the retraction hit incredibly hard, especially for a lot of these companies that are so heavily invested in it. Google's going to take a major loss because they like doesn't matter how much you're trying to shove this into all their products. Like no one is using like Microsoft, Razer.
I mean, but like companies like Razer, Nvidia, they still make products that people want.
This is just like if you make a TV and you were like, hey, AI TV.
Yeah, in a way, Microsoft still has that as well because Windows is always going to be used by across the world. So is
they're not
Microsoft
going anywhere.
Office.
No, neither will Google.
Yeah, no, Office isn't gonna. Yeah, same with Google. Same
this
with
is going to be. I'm trying to think of a good. This basically what we're seeing is so the way people use it is going to go away. The forceful nature of it is going to go away. Copilot's not going to be. Copilot's going to become like Siri. It's going to be there. It's going to be an option, but it's going to be limited in scope. They're not going to be putting billions and billions and billions of dollars into it. Google's not going to be putting billions and billions and billions of dollars into Gemini. Some of these, like ChatGPT is probably not going anywhere. But it's going to be scaled down. It's not going to be like, it's not going to constantly be cranking out like these things. Sora is going to be an issue for forever, but it's not going to be able to continue to grow at the scale it is, because eventually there's going to be crackdown on a bunch of this stuff on top of the market contracting. The stuff that's not going to go away is like the chat bots. Those things aren't going to go away because people use them all the time, whether it's the role play ones or the ChatGPT style ones, or
fingers crossed Grok goes away because they get sued to oblivion for the fucking heinous shit
that's a whole other thing, because people that sue that have to go to Elon's court in that, like, the one Texas county where he owns basically all the judges, even though no one wants to talk about it. I mean, everybody wants to talk about it, but no one can, like, shut it down, even though it's like he uses his money and everything to. That's a whole other conversation. The point being, the concern for us with Xbox, we got into like an AI, mostly AI discussion here, but the point of our concern with Xbox isn't that the games are going to suffer. I mean, they are, because it's going to be under an Xbox brand, and the trust in Xbox is at an all-time low. Like, I think the trust in Xbox now is actually worse than when they dropped the Xbox One, which was hard to accomplish that. I think we're at a point now where the main concern is what is Xbox now? And that's not us asking the question like everybody else has been asking since the "this is an Xbox" conversation started. This is me legitimately asking, what do they want to be? What are they trying to be? And how does this push into what will probably end up being a big push into AI outside of development? What does that mean? Because we don't know, no one knows, and we probably won't know it, because who knows when the next consoles are going to drop at this point? Because we don't.
PSX is going to get pushed back because of the chip shortage and costs and things.
People,
like that.
Well, people. We're not going to see that. There were issues with the PS5. Like, the PS5's outselling the Switch 2 right now, but or it was outselling it the last like month or whatever. But that there are still more people playing a PS4 than a PS5. There are still more people playing a Switch than a Switch 2. And a lot of developers are taking notice of this and releasing games for older consoles and prepping games for older hardware, or lesser hardware for PC, because they're going where the players are, and those players aren't leaving, because we're at such a point with how expensive consoles are and other tech is, and it's going to keep getting more expensive with new tech, or the new tech's just not as good when it comes to, like, I don't want to say not as good as when it comes to like retaining people, but like, if I've had this MacBook since 2021, the one that I've used it daily, every day, hours a day, work, editing, casual stuff, whatever. I've used this MacBook every day for going on 5 years. I don't know if I'm going to upgrade my MacBook until I really need to, because I don't know if I want, like, obviously it's a huge investment to upgrade the MacBook for what would account to what, how much better, like what better performance am I getting? You have to know what you're getting into. And with gaming platforms now, if you're not playing the console's exclusives, then why would you upgrade? Because a lot of the best AAA stuff that's multiplat, or a lot of the best indie stuff, and this is a point I wanted to make, because people have been making a huge argument of like, oh, well, we don't need AAA games because we have indie games. Don't talk like that, because we need all games at every level, and indie games can also cause major issues and have terrible development cycles and be exploitive or be majorly mishandled and all of these other things. Don't act like indie games are perfect. Don't act like you can't. Stop pitting developers against each other. Stop pitting, like, that's not a conversation. That's not the style of conversation we need to have. But from a consumer perspective, when some of my friends come and ask me, what console do I need to get, or what platform do I need to be on, I say, do you have the money for a Switch 2? If you like Nintendo, do you like Nintendo games? Do you like new Nintendo games? Do you have an interest in playing the newest Nintendo games? If so, buy the newest Nintendo console, especially since it's going to be backwards compatible with the Switch. So you have all that backlog.
Yep.
And ports are easier now because the Switch 2 is stronger. Get that. That is the best platform for people that like Nintendo games and want to play the new ones and also play all the old ones. Do you just like games in general? Do you want the cheapest games? Do you want more accessibility? Do you want more customizability? Do you want the most options? Get a PC, get a laptop that can run a bunch of stuff, get a Steam Deck, get a Xbox ROG Ally, whatever, get whatever PC equivalent you want. And I can give you recommendations or help you there. Do you want just something that plugs and plays and work, and you don't care about exclusives, you don't care about the newest stuff, or you don't care about whatever, either get a PC or get a Steam Deck, get a Switch,
or
or
wait for the Steam machine.
Yeah, or wait for the Steam machine, or just get a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Because you can play most things you want on a PlayStation 4 for a quarter of the price of a PlayStation 5. Depending on what kind of PlayStation 4 you get. You can probably get a PS4. I don't know what you can get a PS4 Pro for now, but you could probably get one for like $300. And that's a solid deal. Probably cheaper than that, actually.
I think I agree with all those points. What do we think is going to be like what's the best case scenario from all this with this change in leadership?
There's a huge shakeup. They they change for the consoles, they make it more like a console and less like a marketplace. That was my big complaint, because I have a Series S that I used all the time when I was a Game Pass subscriber. I traded in my old Xbox One X, which I don't know if I've ever told you how I got that, but I got that from a Kind of Funny thing. I'll have to tell you that story at some point. But the that needs to stop being a marketplace and start being a hub for games itself. Whether you sideload whatever, they need to have a better menu system, which that applies to the mobile, or their mobile stuff and their PC stuff too. They need to make it more like the Xbox 360, where it's easy to access things. You know where everything is. It's not all folders or files or different pages that you have to go to every single time, because it's confusing and it's stupid, and I hate it. I hated using that thing, because it's all these different places you have to go to. Oh, your saved games, because the home screen is you have to pin stuff under a file to have it there, or it's just the store, or it's just Game Pass, or it's just what apps you can use. Hate it. It's dumb. I don't like the PlayStation 5s or the PlayStation 4s that much either. I prefer the PlayStation 3s to those, but at least that is still a gaming OS in my mind. So, they need to do that. They need to find a way to. They need to make Game Pass. I don't even know what, the word's not an option again, because it's still an option. Maddox, hi, buddy. I know.
No, an option. But the problem is it's really expensive now. And you would just have to and here's the thing, they're 100%, they're not gonna decrease the price.
They won't.
Of it. No.
But they talked about doing more with the tiers and simplifying it further.
They need to add. I think that they need to add more to it. I mean, right? I mean, there's still a lot to it, but still, people see the $30 price point for Ultimate. It's
okay,
that's a lot.
Especially
because here's the thing, you're not just, because what they want is for you to compare the cost of Game Pass Ultimate
to the cost of
games. What people are doing is they're comparing the cost of Game Pass to other subscriptions, which is usually in the realm of $10 to $15. And so now this is twice as much. And so in an era where people are more concerned about affordability and trying to cut costs because of, everything else being more expensive around them, it's this subscription is, for example, I've been talking up YouTube Premium. In fact, now even so, I switched to a family plan, so me and Steph can both use it, and then her brother uses it as well, and where it's great. And that's okay, I can justify this price because
for how much you use it.
We use YouTube so much, and it comes with YouTube Music, so I can get rid of my Spotify subscription and I can use this instead. And so this just makes sense. Also you're not a fan of Spotify, so this just makes the most sense. But it's Game Pass doesn't make sense.
Okay, let's lay out,
because
let's lay out the Game Pass stuff. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish first. Go ahead.
Because in gaming there's so many great free to play options, and also with gaming, a lot of people just want to own the game they have so they can just go back and play it. I was happy to buy, Arc Raiders, for example. I've already that cost $40. I've already put 52 hours into it, and I'm probably going to do a little more. I don't see myself playing less of that, now that Marathon is getting closer to their launch. I went back and played Helldivers recently. I played a ton of that. And then you have all the free games, your Marvel Rivals, your Counter-Strike, your Valorant, your everything else. And so it's because there's so many great alternatives to like one, there's either like I can just buy the game outright and have it and not have to worry about paying a subscription because God, there's just so many things I have to pay for monthly in my life already. Or I can just play games that are free, that an expensive subscription is just not something that I want to pay for right now.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Game Pass. Let's talk about what's like offered and like
So
what we could
I want to lay this out because people always talk about Game Pass as the $30 number, right? I think that the changes they made. I think that the changes they made to Game Pass overall, when they made those changes to where it went to $30, the overall changes were good because they brought all the benefits of like cross-play, like cross-platform, like PC eligibility, like the cloud stuff, everything to all the tiers. So the lowest tier, I don't remember, like the essential whatever plan.
I have it right here. I can just sort of go through it.
Just run through the names. We don't need to run through like the offerings.
Oh, we'll do like just basic info freaks. Essential, you get your first month for $1, then it's $10 a month.
Yeah.
50 plus games playable on PC, console, and more. Online multiplayer, benefits for some games like League, Riot Games, and Warzone.
Yep.
You can stream games, including select games you already own. That's like that's just sort of the basic. Keep in mind, there's also we'll get to that later. There's a PC only plan. Premium. This is $15 a month. So what Ultimate used to cost when it first came out. This is 200 plus games across the catalog. New Xbox published games will join the library within 12 months of launch, with a few exceptions. You stream games with a shorter wait. So stream games with shorter wait times, including select games you own. You can, like I said, online console multiplayer benefits for certain games. Like like for example, that when I played a lot of this is another reason why it used to be more valuable. I used to play a lot more Valorant. And if you just had Game Pass, you just get all the agents. You have to go through you didn't have to go through the unlock process. You just had them all like right at launch. But I don't play it as much anymore, so that's valuable. And then we get to Ultimate, 500 plus games, new games on day one, including new Xbox published games and third-party games. Includes Fortnite Crew, EA Play, and Ubisoft Plus classics. You can stream games at the best quality. And online console multiplayer and benefits for those games again. That's what they have. And then the PC only plan.
Then the PC only plan, which is just like
which is $16.49 a month.
Yeah, and that's like a hybrid of the premium and the ultimate. It's like
you get the new. It does come with the new games on day one.
Yes,
which is
more games in the premium plus the day ones. My point here is they need to find a way to make those lower plans even more appealing, and make sure that is kind of also in the discussion, because right now people are only talking about Ultimate because that's the best offerings. That's something they need to do. They need to find a way to make the consoles better, make the infrastructure and the layout of the console and the app and the handhelds better. They need to keep improving that. They need to find a way to improve Game Pass more, so the conversation is not only about price and like the offerings are better or the lower offerings are better. Because like if I wasn't because I only subscribe when I want something on there. Like when I go to play Star Wars Outlaws, I'll probably just subscribe to Game Pass, and because for me, it's worth it because I play a lot of weird little games whenever I'm subscribed to Game Pass. I'll just go through and I'll download a bunch of weird little stuff that's on there, play it, try it. If I like it, I play it. They need to fix that.
Go ahead.
You know
what I would suggest? This is just kind of like a spitballing. This is if I'm in the boardroom and I'm like, well, if I'm in the boardroom, I'm making a lot of money, so I'm just gonna.
Microsoft hire us. Yeah. We're inexperienced. So, we probably won't cost as much as other people, but damn if we don't know games.
Yeah. Okay, so a big thing that Ultimate has is the new games on day one. You get, you could have played, this past in 2025, Clair Obscure, Rematch, new CODs, bunch of stuff.
Yes, and I also want to highlight when they did the new version of that, they said that it will be I think it was 75 new games day one for the next year of that, including Xbox titles and third-party titles. They're going to have deals with people, obviously. So, but continue.
And so on Premium, if you look at the listing for Premium, it says new Xbox published games join the library within 12 months of launch. And when I look at that, I'm like when it says, even though it says within 12 months, I am
You're a year exclusivity.
I'm I'm like, a year's a lifetime for in the gaming ecosystem. It's like a year after like a game comes out, then I can play it if I have Game Pass. It's like I would just rather pay the game and that point and pay for the game. And then at that point, it's like I don't need Game Pass. So
Yeah.
I would do a thing where I would try and get these on there faster, like maybe 2-3 months at most, because then like when you get even getting like 6 months, it does seem like a long time. Or alternatively, something like you can select a very small select few like day one games, and then like you can like have like instead of like having access to all the games that come out in day one, you can select like a small, like maybe once a month or maybe once every couple months, you can pick like, oh well, this game's coming out in March and it's going to be on Game Pass. That's when I want to play day one, and then you can
It's like a
pick that
token
one. So
system. I get what you mean.
but like a token system. But you can only do a certain amount per year.
Yeah, but it's like a rollover thing. Like once every 6 weeks, let's say, you get a token that is like you can use that on any game you want on Game Pass that's not available in. So let's say that's premium. So you have the premium.
Listen,
plan.
they would probably lock a few, like the new Call of Duty. You probably can't use that, or like
that could just be in the not including all options, but you could get like say like Clair Obscur happened again, like a Clair Obscur-ish game, Forza Horizon 6, that kind of stuff, like Halo Campaign Evolve.
Big AAA Xbox heavy hitters wouldn't be included, or like maybe it's like a tier system. Maybe you can like you can save up tokens, and instead of getting a bunch of little games, you like pick one or two big games you want throughout the whole year. But then you still have access to everything else that comes out in the catalog.
They've just got to find some way to. They've just got to find some way to make Game Pass a good option again, because it's not a bad option, especially if you're in the know. But or if you're just like a casual person that like, but
it doesn't really feel like it's for casuals, because like
that's
the whole
what I mean.
point
That's
is
what I'm trying to like
all these games, and so it's like it's casual where it's like it's easy because you just paid a subscription, you don't have to worry about going to the store or pre-orders or all this stuff, and you just have the games available to your right there. But it's also not casual because it's for the person who's playing games all the time, or has a ton of time.
Well, it's also they're trying to market to those people because they've made it basically Xbox Gold. Like so they're trying to market to those people, but like when my brother does that kind of stuff, because he still uses his Xbox console on top of having a PC, he just uses the $9.99 one because he just wants multiplayer, and he doesn't care about the offerings because he'll just buy the game. But they want to market to those people, so they're trying to market to those people. They got to find a way to market better, because when it was marketed as the best deal in gaming, when it was the $15 like option, when it was first growing, that was like at its peak, and then it quickly fell off. They've got to find a way to get back to marketing like that without having to go back to those prices, because they're never going back to those prices.
Yeah. It's a mix between the cost of it went up, and a lot of like the games that were really billed as like, oh, this is a mover, like this is a game that's going to get people to sign up for it, were good but not great. Like Starfield's a great example. I think Halo Infinite's another great example. But of course there's still lots of, like Clair Obscur was on it. Rematch I said I liked. Avowed, Outer Worlds 2. And these are great games, and of course, Clair Obscur, but it's not like they were like advertising Clair Obscur on the same level as, or like marketing Clair Obscur on the same level as like a Starfield or
no, but that's the issue where it comes into where if it's people like us or people that play a lot of games or people in the industry or whatever, people know that Game Pass is still worth it if you're going to be playing some of these games.
Yeah.
If you're not someone that if you're someone who pays attention to the games industry, and likes playing a lot of games, especially Xbox published or partnered or whatever games, Game Pass is still worth it, because you're going to be getting, I don't even know, what is it, $320 a year now for Ultimate?
If it's $30 a month, then it'd be $360.
Yeah, something like that. So
yeah, $360 a month.
Are you playing
for a year? Excuse me.
For a year. So are you playing what equates to a new game a month? Like a $60 game a month? If the answer is no,
months.
Yeah, every 2 months. Are you playing a new major release every time it comes out?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it to play like Blueprints plus
Yeah.
I think Grand Blue Fantasy
But
Relink is
like
coming out on there.
a game like Blueprints was like
It's
30
20.
bucks,
It's
and the same for
$20. That's
Quip.
what I'm saying. Are you
Yeah,
playing
that's the thing.
like? Are you playing enough of those 20 to like
Yeah.
10, 20, $30 games to?
Are you playing 6 major 60 to 70 plus dollar releases each
Or are
year?
you getting enough
If
out of
you
the rest of
aren't,
the catalog?
it's hard to yeah. Oh, that's a good point too. Like everything else that's in there.
It's that's for me. If I was like, if so, right now I'm like middle ground of the industry. I pay attention to stuff still, have friends in the industry, keep up with it all, right? But I'm not playing nearly as many games because I'm not covering them for work or I'm not doing things. Like I didn't review
Correct.
Resident Evil 9. I'm not reviewing anything coming up. I don't have plans to review
Mhm.
anything coming up outside of just talking about it on the show or maybe a small write up here or there. The point being, someone like me would still find value in Game Pass because I could play like haven't played Star Wars Outlaws, but that's not even a $60 game anymore. That's like a $30 game because I can find it on sale all the time. The new indie games that are coming out, most of the games that I would play on there are like the $20 to $40 games, not the major releases. Now, when Forza Horizon 6 comes out, I'll probably get Game Pass again because I want to play Forza Horizon 6. I love Forza. I love Forza Horizon specifically. That still doesn't probably make up $360 a year out of the games that I'm playing because most of the games I'm playing are in that like somewhere between $10 to $40. And so I could just buy those games and directly support the developers instead. So I am struggling to be like, yes, Game Pass is worth it, even when I have the Xbox handheld.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the only reason I would use
You're
it.
like, yeah.
Is because
You've got the exact device that they want you
exactly.
You're like, if you have Game Pass and that device, you are like the perfect Xbox customer.
It is, and it's seamless. It works great in the mode that they have for the console, especially with some of the updates they've done to it. It works really well. So like, will I get Game Pass again this year? Yeah, probably at least a couple times, but I'm not going to be subscribed to it all year because I'm not getting $360 worth of stuff. So that just to put the wrap up this part of the conversation so we can move on to the rest of this. It's like, yeah, no, they got to fix Game Pass's marketing more so than anything. They got to find a way to fix Game Pass as a product. They got to fix the image of Xbox as a platform because it's more like a marketplace and an ecosystem than a place to play games.
Yeah. I'll say this: if I haven't loaded up in a while. If I opened the Xbox app on my PC, I was actually surprised to see that like the most recent games are all like my Steam games. I guess that's a new feature.
Yeah, that's something they did with the
and if you go to like most popular games in premium, like if you go to like the sign up for Game Pass page, it'll be a section that's most popular games for premium, and it's like Warzone, a free game, Forza Horizon 5, a good game, but one that's about to be, replaced by its sequel. Gang Beasts, a very old, fun but old $20 game. Clover Pit, which I don't know what it's like
a roguelite kind of what's the
roguelike
gambling
game?
No. Well, yeah. No, is it the one? What's the one? The destruction one that used to be on the BlackBerry phones?
I don't know.
The Brick Breaker.
Okay.
It's like a roguelite Tetris style Brick Breaker.
Yeah. But like a lot of these games are either cheap or free. Like another one is like War Thunder, free. Among Us, $5. Master Chief Collection, $40. And then afterwards, it actually gets into like some of like games that like they should be putting front and center, which is like Hogwarts Legacy, Halo Infinite, Fallout 4. And one of the things on here is like still up here among next to like Sea of Thieves, Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, and Power World is like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Standard Edition, it's like, who's still playing this? Like this is the old Call, like it just seems like, just looking at that, it's like, oh, what's everyone playing? It's like, oh well, like do I really need to pay, 15 bucks a month just to play these? I could just buy one or two of these and then I'm good.
For Ultimate, which encompasses all product, like all tiers, you want to know what the 3 games coming soon listed are right now?
What are they?
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is a big get.
Yep, it's a big get.
Forza Horizon 6, which is still months away. Final Fantasy 3. because they're slowly releasing I think it's the Pixel Remaster trilogy, one game at a time, like one per month on there. So now Final Fantasy 3, which guess what? Final Fantasy 3 is a fine game. I don't like the Pixel Remasters, but that is what they have listed as their all upcoming games. And then now they have Leaving Soon is like Monster Train, the Middle Earth, Shadow of War, and Injustice 2.
I don't think having a Leaving Soon section is good. Like, I understand the point of it, but it's like, it's also, to me, like, it can also send the message that's like, oh, well, maybe a game that I really like will just be gone one day. And then, fuck me, I guess. But also one thing I realized is like, so like, I clicked on the Ultimate tab, and here are the most popular games in Ultimate. It's a Call of Duty 7 cross-gen bundle, $70. Warzone free. Forza Horizon 5 again. Gang Beasts again. Clover Pit. Kill It With Fire 2, which I've never heard of. You know what apparently the most number one game on Ultimate is?
What?
Fortnite.
Yeah, because I wonder if like the Fortnite pass probably.
I wonder if that was like actually ended up being like a good. Is that actually like
definitely?
It seems like that was a good decision.
You get all the battle passes, you get a bunch of shit unlocked for free, and you get free V-Bucks.
Then yeah, that's yeah. So that's probably why.
If you play enough of those, if you play
portion of Ultimate subscribers are Fortnite players.
If you play Fortnite and like Overwatch 2, and then like probably like a handful of premium games, or like and then like a handful
other
a little games, of like other things, you probably make up your money just off of being like just off of that, because Fortnite pass, I don't know how much Fortnite crew is. It's probably like 10, 15. I think it's like $10. I think it's the same
cost. If you're like a Fortnite crew owner, I feel like you're just playing Fortnite, not much else. And so then it's like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like if I wanted Fortnite crew, I'm playing Fortnite and pretty much very little else, then I would just get.
I don't know what the crossover is. I'd love to see these numbers and like see the percentages and stuff, break it down, but we're never going to see that again. But no, so here's where we're sitting at right now with like, and I think this is just console releases, but here are the games that just released for console Game Pass Ultimate. Mio Memories in Orbit, which is a cool Metroidvania indie game. So this is the entirety of this year. This is all the stuff that's released this year. Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition, Final Fantasy, the Pixel Remaster of 1, Star Wars Outlaws, My Little Pony game, Resident Evil Village, Mio Memories in Orbit, Death Stranding Director's Cut, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Talos Principle 2, and I never pronounce this game. Anno Mutationem, Drop Duchy Complete Edition, Warhammer Space Marine 2, Indica, Final Fantasy 2, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Paw Patrol game, The First Descendant. So isn't that free to play too? And First Descendant free to play? I don't know, whatever. Another one of those games that has benefits on Game Pass for playing because it's like a live service game. EA Play put out Madden 26, so that's a big get. Relooted, Star Sand Island, Diablo 2 Resurrected, BlazBlue Entropy Effect X, which is the big update to the BlazBlue roguelite. Roadside Research, which is like one of those like friend slop games. High on Life 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance, the original, which 2 is coming soon. Drop Shot, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora through the Ubisoft stuff. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. EA Sports College Football 26 just came out like last week. And TCG Card Shop Preview. So every 2 weeks you get like one big game added.
Yeah.
And if you are into that kind of stuff,
sometimes it's really late though. Like college, like I bought college football because I wanted it, and then even though I don't play this one as much as the last year's, and I'm not sure if I'll buy it the next year, but it's like, now it's here finally in February.
Yeah, February you're getting it. This is like, are you into the games as they come out, or are you just playing the games you want, and then if something comes to Game Pass, will you try it out? Because that's kind of what I'm at when I have it. Is if a game is on Game Pass that I haven't tried, or is new that's coming to Game Pass that I probably wouldn't have bought, I'll give it a go. Anyways, that Game Pass, Xbox as a whole is a mess, but those are the two things I think they need to fix. I think they need to fix the ease of access and the game, making their ecosystems more gaming centric than marketplace centric, because on their app, on their handheld, and on their console, it all feels like a marketplace more so than a console. And then they need to fix Game Pass, not necessarily as a product, but they need to find a way to offer more while
Make the lower
fixing the
tiers a
marketing.
little more, yeah.
Because the
Yes.
marketing is awful for it, and they need to find a way to make that middle tier, the premium tier, the one that people want.
I agree.
So I think that's where they can win. I don't know anything else. I don't care enough about anything else, because if Game Pass gets marketed better, it becomes a better product for everybody, including me and including you and including all of our
Yes.
friends. That's all I can ask for, because that's the only Xbox thing I care about at this point. I'm not going to buy a new Xbox. Like I like the handheld.
I haven't a fucking clue what the next new Xbox is gonna look like.
It's gonna be a toaster,
Great.
or it's gonna have that pizza
I
thing built in. You
Well,
can
I want
heat
the
your
toast to pop
Dominoes.
up and it's got the Xbox logo.
That's
toasted
the
onto
thing.
it.
You can get that. Pretty sure.
Oh, well, I probably can't afford it.
Anyways, you ready to talk about AI again, but in a different way?
Yeah, I mean, not particularly, because this one's especially. This one kind of hits close to home.
So, if you don't know how important Metacritic is, let's sit down. We've talked about this before, but if you are in the games industry, if your website or your publication is on Metacritic, you are immediately treated as royalty by many a game developer, because when they can put up a Metacritic score and show it to their investors and show it to their board and show it to their the development teams across all their different sectors and be like, this company is on Metacritic, we should invite them to things, you get preferred treatment. And that is because the Metacritic score is something that they like to use in marketing. They like to put the scores of people that are on Metacritic or people or respected outlets on in their reviews, in their review roundups, in their trailers, all over the place. They love doing that. They've loved doing that for years. So Metacritic is a golden child of the games industry when it comes to who gets access to what. Being quote unquote respectable reviewers, that's not entirely true, because you can still get codes if you're a respectable outlet. It's just if you're going to a preview and you get reached out, like you will be reached out to way more for previews if your outlet is on Metacritic, just out of that is something that it's like a box they tick, essentially.
Yes.
It's like, do we like the person? Yes. Is their outlet like a quality place of public publishing stuff relatively frequently, including in demographics that we want? Yes. Do they have a Metacritic? Yes. Cool. All three boxes checked. You're in. Get in the email list. That kind of stuff. So when this is just so bad. Resident Evil Requiem reviews came out 2 days ago? I think. Yeah, 2 days ago. So that's obviously the first like massive game of the year. The first like triple A blockbuster game that everybody's reviewing, everybody wanted to talk about. But because there's been so many layoffs in the games industry, a lot of those places have Metacritic either don't have access to a review copy of the game, don't have someone equipped to review the game, don't have an editorial staff at all in the case of some of these publications, or some mixture of the three, right? Well, UK gaming publication Video Gamer got into some hot water over the last couple days because people found out that the person that did the review for Resident Evil Requiem for that website does not exist. They are a ChatGPT, they are an image generated by ChatGPT, fake name, fake description. Everything's fake about it. The review was just terrible, like just awful. It got ripped apart, torn apart, blah blah blah. You got this is another one of those websites that was sold to Clickout, which we talked about last week, because they're doing the same thing with the Escapist currently.
Can I read you? Can we read from some of this review a little bit?
Yeah, no, go right ahead, Scott. Take it away.
So this is from Lewis Parker at Kotaku, citing the review. Lewis says the review in question is full of cliches and generalities rather than specifics about the game and how it plays, which is very, very common with like ChatGPT era and stuff. Resident Evil Requiem is not just a victory lap for Capcom's survival horror dynasty. It is a chainsaw revving, blood-soaked testament to why we love getting scared stupid.
That was highlighted, by the way. They highlighted this.
Yeah. It is the sort of finale that effectively grabs the franchise by the lapels, shakes it violently, and demands you acknowledge just how far it has come since the tank control days of 1996. While other series limp toward their conclusions, RE9 arrives with the confidence of a tyrant smashing through a brick wall. It's just sort of like, it's just like a lot of like cliche, like it's essentially, you can tell that it is an AI trying to sound human. And that's it bonds the trauma of Raccoon City with modern day sensibilities, proving there's plenty of life left in this undead horse. It frames the horror not just as a series of jump scares, but as a legacy that haunts its characters as much as it haunts our backlogs. I see crap like this all over LinkedIn.
Bro, it
Like,
like I have to read
it's
like so
bad.
we've talked about it before. Like I've read and still read like some like fan fiction or fan written works about like stuff that exists, and I have to read stuff, and some of the times I'm like, is this person just bad at writing, or is this person using like AI to like write a structure and then go in and change stuff? Because like this is like if someone that wrote bad fan fiction, it's not even that. It's not even that, because at least those you can tell like the sentence structure is just from someone who's not used to writing. This is just so mechanical in how it's written, and it doesn't have any soul. Like the first line, that first like highlighted one where it's like chainsaw revving blood-soaked testament to why we love getting scared stupid. It's like just close enough to what you might read in the opening line, like the opening two sentences that people use to grab people for a review, or that's usually like the testament to what the review is. That you can, like, if you're not well versed enough in game reviews, it could pass. But it does none of it has substance, because none of this ties anything to Resident Evil 9. I haven't played the game, and I could write a better review for the game than this. Because I've played other Resident Evil games, and I know what this game is about. And the second paragraph
you think you can write a better review than Brian Marigold, an experienced iGaming and sports betting analyst?
No, that's different. That's a different brought up. This is not
modern gambling entertainment.
This isn't written by that person. This is another example of Clickout Media's AI people. Because I told you when I went to go look at The Escapist and Dot, because I don't know, we still don't know who owns Dot. I'm pretty sure it's Clickout.
Yeah. I don't know. I could find out. Maybe I can find out by next episode.
Because I haven't looked into it, but that's something we should look into, because they have somebody that, like this Callum Mercer. They have profiles that not like the AI looking images.
If you go to the betting site, the betting section of Dot, I think that there is someone who is like, I don't think they're a real person.
Exactly.
And it's almost a similar bio as what I just read from.
They're all the same. They're all the same.
Well, the Callum Mercer is not the person with the Resident Evil. The Callum Mercer is, so that's a kind of separate but similar story.
It's a very similar.
So Esports News UK let go a lot of their real staff and have replaced them with AI such as esports expert Callum Mercer, who
Cal Mercer. Excuse you. You have to use his gamer tag.
Oh, yes.
In parentheses there. Very important.
I love how it's like UK-based esports covering competitive circuit titles across the LEC, VCT, and global Counter-Strike circuits. I'm pretty well versed in two of those, and I've never heard of this person because they are very clearly not real. You can kind of tell from these headshots that they're not real. He specializes in tactical breakdowns, roster strategy, and the business dynamics shaping modern professional gaming. It's like, no one does that. Like that's not how they would describe
you
it.
You also wouldn't write that, like, unless you're some tech bro that busted in, or an editor, because there are editors who write their stuff like that.
Oh, hold on.
What happened?
I just I was paying more. So it's a screenshot from Dom Sacco, and shout out Dom and Hannah Marie and Jack Marsh and all the people who were at Esports News UK who have just been screwed over by this. So Dom shared a screenshot of Callum Mercer's bio, and one article that Callum has written is Riot Games unveils VCT Masters Santiago 2026 details, everything you need to know. I didn't even realize this at first glance, but it's like the image itself is also insane AI. It's like a generic looking esports stadium and crowd, but then they didn't even bother getting the proper team logos. Like they're like generic.
Oh my god,
like
I can see it
logos
too.
for Furia paper. Like these are like logos that you would like. Okay, if you were like, these are logos you find in like Esports Manager. If like you couldn't get the likeness and the license to the actual team,
Fury is just fire.
Fury is just a fire. Paper Rex looks like an origami thing. I can't even tell what the far left one is. What is that?
Something Tigers? I don't know, man.
I don't want to. Oh, you know, I'm gonna bite the bullet and visit the website. I need to know what that team. What is
going on?
What is this? Esports News UK. Why? Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. There's like generic players too. These aren't real players. Face Quint's not in Valorant. Why is Face on the? Oh no.
This is bad. Oh wait, I got the description for Brian Marigold. If you want me to read that off.
Oh, that's what I was reading earlier.
Okay,
That's
cool.
what I was, but also like the PaperX logo used in this AI article is different from the PaperX logo used in the other AI article. Why is the Gentlemates logo the same shape as G2? Also, that's not the logo. Like the G2 logo is easily the closest to the actual, and FaZe too. But like FaZe isn't even in Valorant. Hold on, I'm sending you a link through Discord. Look at these fucking logos. Like, how is T1 that wrong? Like, T1 is like an icon. T1 Liquid. Like, these are all like iconic esports brands that have been around for like decades. Like, how would you get these wrong?
Gentlemates, Paper Rex, Foot Esports, T1. Oh my god. Team
God.
Heretics is just. This is so bad.
It's just an H. It's just a fucking H. And then yeah, there's another one like it's Nongshim Red Force. That's the Red Tiger. Yeah, but yeah,
bro.
it's like all gamers. The logo is TI. What's what? Like, Furious just fire.
Speaking of shitty things that are happening, apparently Warner Brothers is going to Paramount now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Warner Brothers Discovery Board calls Paramount offer superior, gives Netflix 4 days to match, and Netflix declines to raise offers. So things are going to get even worse now on that regard, so that's fun. We're in a hellscape.
Like, so there were what? Like, how many times would Paramount make an offer? Like, they just wore them down with offers?
I guess. They have Saudi money, so it doesn't matter. Look, I don't know, man. This sucks. Yeah, this Kotaku article is pointing out.
There's actually something on this. There's actually something on this Esports News UK website that I actually have to flag for work, and because it actually relates to my work, and
we'll do it.
I don't think people there would be happy about it. So I'm gonna have to actually save this and flag that for later.
Bro, this is like whatever. Regardless,
I'll share it with I'll send it to you later. But
yeah. So point being, this sucks. This is happening all over the place, and it's going to happen more. Eurogamer just laid off more people, although as editors and the video team, not necessarily the writers, which I was worried about because our buddy Connor, who were doing the our fantasy league with, works for Eurogamer. But yeah, no. Anyways, Metacritic responded to this after taking the review down because obviously they took the review off of Metacritic and they're probably going to remove that.
We didn't forget about that story. We got so distracted by this insane website.
Metacritic has been a reputable review source for a quarter century and has maintained a rigorous vetting process when adding new publications to our slate of critics. However, in certain instances, such as a publication being sold or a writing staff having turned over, problems can arise, such as plagiarism, theft, or other form of fraud, including AI-generated reviews. Metacritic's policy is to never include an AI-generated critic review on Metacritic, and if we discover that one has been posted, we'll remove it immediately and sever ties with that publication indefinitely pending a thorough investigation. So, Video Gamer's not going to have any more reviews on Metacritic. I'm pretty sure that's why Dot's not listed on there anymore because they, for reference, Dot had a Metacritic after a year of work to get the Metacritic accessibility for Dot. Pretty sure they don't have that anymore. Obviously, they're not covering general games anymore, regardless if that's ClickOut or not. Yeah, this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
This is just like, people already make fun of reviewers enough, and we've talked about this at length. Maybe I'll put a tag up here to go listen to our episodes talking in depth about reviews and like the process of like having to deal with criticism as a game critic, because they already get made fun of enough. They already get treated like they're not, like, you don't deserve to be writing reviews. You're not a real gamer regardless of your pedigree as a gamer. So this is just another instance of people being like, oh, well, I guarantee there's someone talking about this being like, oh, I couldn't tell it was AI written, and I'm like, well, you're just not media literate, so that wouldn't matter anyways.
There's certain I'm gonna say this, I genuinely judge you if you can't tell if something's made by AI anymore. Like, especially like generative AI, like I did. Yeah, that's come on. Yeah, but like it's just it's really sad
Yeah.
that people lose their jobs and replaced by swap.
Well,
This is precisely the reason that like people are so against AI, because it takes jobs away from people,
th-
and then the quality you left with is just subpar.
so video this website, whatever other clickout websites there are, so including the Escapist, which just laid everybody off except for a few people and is pivoting to AI content, as they specifically announced they're pivoting to AI content. Um, anything owned by that company now is a degraded asset and is doing irreparable harm to games media because half the stuff isn't accurate. It's using fake images. It's using fake people with no whatever, no actual, like, people don't understand that a lot of these places are built on journalism, even if they're critiquing, like, even if they're like a more of a like entertainment website. There's still an element to journalism that you have to uphold when you're doing stuff like criticism. So, but if you're just an editor running a bunch of stuff through AI and doing prompts or whatever, there's no journalism happening. You're not getting accurate. You're not researching.
Yeah,
You're not doing the
it's not
research. You're not doing the
researching.
fact checking.
It's just scouring and then repeating and
And
adding
half it's not even
no.
accurate. If you're publishing
Half it's
stuff
not accurate.
that has inaccurate images, which you don't even have to, like, you could just go grab an image from the tournament. You don't have to make something with all the logos. The fact that they went the
Yeah.
extra step to make fake logos
Yeah.
for these teams in an AI generated image shows just how stupid these people think you are as a reader and how stupid they are as a business.
I can't stop laughing at some of these logos.
It's so bad.
Oh, the paper Rex just like a red tiger. It's like, where'd you get this from? Like at least in the other article, it looks kind of like an origami and like maybe the shape of a dinosaur. So it's like, okay, paper Rex, I see what this thing was trying to guess.
The other one wasn't.
But then this next one's just a tiger.
It doesn't make
It's
sense.
like a generic high school football tiger logo. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, go Paper Rex. We're trying to win the state football championship.
Yeah, woo, go sports ball. Yeah. No, it's dumb. And I also want to add, because I was trying to see if this Netflix Warner Brothers thing was any deeper than I thought it was, and it is. And it's just Netflix being like, we had the negotiation. We think ours is a better offer for shareholder, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We don't care. We're going to keep doing our stuff. But also in the response
honestly good for Netflix. Like the fact that you made him the deal, they took the deal, and then Paramount just like wore them down with all these offers, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna take this deal. It's like, all right, no, screw you then. Like we don't need you. Like we.
Yeah, this is just gonna be a hellscape for everybody, because this is gonna be two of the biggest like people that run basically movies in the West merging together under one brand, and it's just gonna cost millions. It's gonna cost millions of jobs.
If something happens to my ability to watch AEW through HBO Max service, I'm gonna commit a war crime. I'm letting you in the audience.
There's gonna be a bunch of other issues, especially now that it's gonna be two streaming services. Still, the issue of two. Now, to be fair, the streaming service element of it, and I don't want to get into this too much, is that like the Paramount Plus HBO thing isn't that bad, because Paramount Plus is a much smaller one, even though it's still one of the more.
It's less of a consolidation. Like the Max
on that end, yes, but this brings up the other issues. The other issue is that now this is a bigger issue on the side of the regular media versus the streaming stuff. So that's a whole other thing.
We've seen what's gone on with CBS News, and I don't like.
Yeah, no, it's a shit show. This is going to turn into like, guess what? Now Superman's going to be boiled down. Like, I'm sure James Gunn is going to get mandates now from the stupid people in charge of this company, because they're
I can already tell what's going to happen. He's going to tell them to go fuck themselves, and if they try and change what he wants to do, he's just going to leave. He's not going to put up with that.
Yeah, there's a bigger threat to this ruining whatever DC was doing. This also is going to impact comics, which means there's going to be less people doing comics that are it's going to impact who's getting hired to do comics or what kind of stories are going to be told through comics, because there's going to be this trickle down of terrible culture.
That actually could affect AEW, because they've been really letting the crowd go with their fuck ice chants every time Brody King.
We'll see. This is still just a preliminary deal. So
rules, by the way.
Yeah, that's great. Fuck ice. But no, the point I wanted to bring up when I was doing research in this is the Twitter responses to this are a bunch of AI accounts just responding with like a Paramount One ... or what does this mean for this? And then a bunch of idiots just asking Grok because they can't think for themselves for opinions. That's where we're at now with AI. Like, it's ruining media. It's ruining. I was scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and I've seen an uptick in terrible AI generated like shorts recently that are like, oh, these cats reacting to their owners coming home or whatever, but it's all AI.
I've been so happily away from Twitter, like using it. Like I actually, like, as you were talking, I just opened it back up and I was like, yeah, I don't miss this, and I just immediately closed it.
I don't use it. I only use it when I'm opening stuff for stories now, and I'm just like, I don't care. Anyways, AI sucks. Consolidation sucks. Blah 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 across the board. We're at that point. You want to talk about High Guard now?
Well, I wanted to quickly talk about our fantasy draft. Let's talk about some good games that we're drafting in our Timesphere.
Also, you might want to lean back. You're in front of your microphone.
I'm in front of my mic. Hold on.
Yeah, you were leaning away, so you.
Oh, I was. Yeah, I see what you mean. Good call. Good call. Apologies to if the audio.
No, you're good. It wasn't that bad for a while. You were just leaning forward there.
But yeah, we finally got our fantasy critic league off the ground. We've got 7 people.
We got it literally like so our friend Xavier, literally 2 hours before the reviews went up for Resident Evil, drafted Resident Evil
with the first overall pick. And you know what? It sounds like he made a great pick. He right at the buzzer, he made a great pick. So I'm now sitting at an 88. So I'll quickly run through.
And that AI review knocked it from an 89 to an 88. That's crazy.
Oh, damn.
Not that changes the point.
No. But yeah, so he took Resident Evil Requiem first. We'll go through the draft order, and I want you to see if there's any surprises, because I've got one early. Resident Evil Requiem, not a big surprise, and obviously it's already panned out for Xavier. Will took 007 First Light.
I was surprised he took that, but I think he likes James Bond, and I think he's running with the gambit that we're just gambling at this point because none of this matters.
That's true, yeah.
Like, what else are you gonna take? He didn't want to take GTA.
Yeah, I mean, that's a gamble. I mean, if we're gambling, that's a gamble.
Well, so if I'm taking like the hype factor meter that they have in account for this, that's like the 7th most hyped game according to OpenCritic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised. We're at the point now where we haven't had like the big, like the PlayStation Showcase was something that showed a little bit of what's coming, but it didn't like really announce anything new for them coming this year. So we don't have like a lot of those big, we don't know what Nintendo's doing big this year other than Fire Emblem. We don't know. And then like Pokemon, whatever that ends up happening. We're not doing, we don't know what Xbox is doing big this year. Like we got the thing where it showed off a Fable still coming this year, and we already knew Forza was coming, but those are the only 2 real big projects we know are coming from them this year, other than Halo, which is just a remaster, remake, whatever. So we still don't know a lot of the big games coming this year.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, if you go to like draft a game, there's still a lot of like unannounced mainline.
Exactly.
I mean, every year is the unannounced mainline Half-Life game, which some person inevitably picks and feels stupid for picking. There's ones for other series as well. But I'll quickly run through the draft. Will took 007 First Flight. Then you, with your first pick, took the very safe, very smart Forza Horizon 6
I love Forza, and it was on the board. Yep. That's going to be at least
an
85.
It's going to review well. Yeah. That's not your, that's not your. We always like to compare it to NBA picks. That's like your plug and play instant starter. Maybe he's not going to be the greatest.
That's like he's going to be like a top 10 player at his position. At least 2 all-star games across 10 years.
At the worst, he's going to be like a reliable starter for years. Yeah. Connor then went with Pragmata, which is getting a lot of positive buzz.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that one actually pans out review-wise. He did make the funny joke in our chat about like, because that he said that the little girl's getting toasted in Act 3. It's like, if that happens, immediately 10 points up on the review score for everybody.
Immediate bump. Yeah. My first pick was Control Resonance. I'm really high on Remedy. Control obviously is really fun. I think people are going to really like this kind of new direction it's going with the action, and all the weird stuff that they're known for. I think it's gonna be great. Danielle, she ended up taking the risky pick. She went with Grand Theft Auto 6. bold. I like it. We'll see if it comes out. And then back-to-back picks, we have Eric, who's in Japan, right?
Yeah.
He lives in Japan. That's awesome.
He's
He's
used to
going
be
with
used to be in PR. Now he's going to school in Japan.
That's awesome. He took back-to-back picks, Marvel's Wolverine and Fable. Very, very high side to both of them. Wolverine has a date now.
Wolverine has a date. Fable,
little...
I think, is still definitely coming out this year, but that was the one. That's the one I was like, he must be really high on Fable because I'm still a little concerned about how that's going to be received. I think it's going to be good.
I actually am high on Fable. If it had fallen to me in the second round, I may have picked it. And then the pick I really wanted in the second round, which Danielle sniped for me, was Saros.
Yeah.
I think
we know why we know you're a big Rahul Kohli. Also, it's just
I love Rahul, but I also love. I thought Returnal was excellent. This seems like it's doing a lot to like advance that and do a new story, and the world building is always really cool. Yeah. So I went with a game that many were burned on last year, but I hope is actually coming out this year. And the devs are really
hoping
hopeful is good because they have explicitly said that they need this game to do well, and that is Mina the Hollower from the people who made Shovel Knight. And then we go. Connor's next pick was Pokemon Pocopia, which we're gonna see in just I'm
surprised you went Pocopia and not whatever the next game, like whatever Gen 10 will be, because Pocopia's got a chance to like fizzle. I think it's gonna be good, but I think it's probably capping out at an 80. I don't think those kind of games get like, especially since it's going to be that team. Well, it's not that team's first time because it's a team that made Dragon Quest Builders 2 working with the Pokemon Company, whatever. I don't know if it's Game Freak directly or whatever other team they're working with. But so they have experience doing a builder-ish game in that style. It's just a completely new style of that genre. So I don't know if everything's going to hit. There's probably going to be some weird hiccups in how things work. I've heard nothing but good things from the people I know who got to play it, and also they just did like a 60-minute like treehouse stream of it that looked pretty good. So I think it's gonna be good. I just don't know if it has the same potential of a, like most Pokemon games, you don't go below like a 6, but you don't go higher than an 8 overall.
Yeah,
I think whatever Gen 10 is going to be has a chance to go above an 8 versus Pocopia. I think doesn't have as much potential to go above an 8. But I see why he went with that because we have a date for it. We know it's coming.
Correct. You went with Persona 4 Revival. That feels like another really safe.
I'm worried.
Floor.
I went and looked up what the review scores for 3 Reload were. So I'm not a Persona guy. The only Persona I played is 4. I played 4 on my Vita. 4 Golden on my Vita. That's the only Persona I've ever played. So I like 4. 3 reviewed really well. Obviously 5 is a masterpiece for a lot of people and reviewed extremely well. Sega recently, now that's mostly RGG, the Yakuza team, have a mixed kind of recent history with re-releases and remakes and stuff. I'm hoping this one is still on the higher end of it and they do a lot of stuff. This one also has a lot they are going to have to change story-wise to modernize it because there's a lot of stuff that won't work in modern day, just like with 3. So I'm still worried about it, but I think the team working on the remakes there have done a good enough job with like 5's additional content, 3's remake, and now this. I think this one's still going to be in that like mid to high 80s. So I was like, I don't have a lot of strong feelings so far about a lot of games this year. So I was like, that one seems like a pretty safe bet, just like Forza. Although I do like Forza a lot. So
one that I think is a bit less of a safe bet is Will's next pick, which is Onimusha Way of the Sword. Not that
it will come out.
I wonder if the game comes out.
It will.
That's one thing I was concerned
about. Capcom, outside of Pragmata, which was their like one similar thing we talked about with like Nintendo with Metroid Prime 4. With Pragmata, they announced it way too early, went through a lot of development hell, and now it's back and it's coming out. Since then, they've been pretty good about announcing a thing, and then it comes out in the time frame that they talked about. And they've been talking about Onimusha since its initial reveal. I don't remember if it was at the Game Awards 2 years ago or if it was at Summer Game Fest 2 years ago.
I think it was Game Awards 2024. That sounds right.
Whenever it was announced, they already had the window of it being 2026. So I think this is going to be their summer/fall game because they usually have like a somewhat decently sized game in that like June to July time frame, and then they have another one in like that September-October. So somewhere in there, probably that September-October fits really well for kind of the vibe of Onimusha because it is a darker style spirit thing.
Halloween game.
Yeah,
Ooh.
exactly.
Back to back, Xavier goes with Monster Hunter Stories 3: Twisted Reflection. I know nothing about Monster Hunter. I assume this is like the weird little offshoot games that
Monster
are
Hunter
like.
Stories is a RPG monster catcher trainer style
It's like
side.
Pokemon.
Yeah, in a way, it's got like more like Monster Hunter mechanics in it, and it's changed a lot.
Okay.
So the first one was on 3DS, and it's now released on all platforms. So it's not the exclusive to that, but it's a very chibi style. Two is a little bit less, and this one's more of an RPG style, art style, and everything.
Okay.
So it feels like this is going to be a leap for like maybe presentation, but they've all been pretty good games. I played the first one. I really liked it for what it was. It's not like a masterpiece or anything. Haven't played two, but I've heard good things about three, and it's coming out soon. So it's not a bad pick. Also, we just have a lot of Capcom fans
Yes.
in the Discord that we're doing this in, so not surprised.
Mhm.
Um,
Not surprised now.
yeah.
Xavier also took Dench Attack, which I think is a great pickup. I saw a lot of positive buzz from games media people that I follow about this game. Very
Is that the
stylized,
train one?
fun. Like it's like a train Tony Hawk kind of game
Yeah,
where you
Tony
grind
Hawk kind
trains and do
of. Yeah.
tricks.
The demo for
You're
that
like
I think
trying.
is out for this next fest.
Yes, I played it. I played the demo.
Okay.
It's very fun. I think very highly of this game. I think it's a great pick. Will then went with Ace Combat 8: Wings of Thief. I mean, that's
Yeah,
one
that was
that
gonna
I
be
know
my
you
next
were
pick.
thinking about.
That was gonna be
Connor
my
was gonna
next
thinking
pick.
about picking that game. Yeah, Ace Combat fucking rules.
Yeah.
That's gonna be really popular. So you ended up with that one off your board. You decided to go with Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which feels like another like safe, reliable pick. Um, I don't know anything about Fire Emblem or these weird anime games, so I trust you know what you're doing by picking those.
Well, so
Um,
I went with it because obviously, like I said, I don't have a lot of strong opinions on a lot. I haven't like I should have deep dove obviously since we had so much time between when we did the the when we announced we were doing this with our friends and then did
actually
medics
getting it going.
chill out. Uh, we were when we announced we were doing it. Um, to when we actually did it, there was plenty of time to like deep dive. Obviously, like we didn't do it in time to do like the Mugenics or Reanimal. Both of those released. Obviously, Reanimal had a much
Yeah.
lower score. Mugenics blew a lot of people away with.
Neo 3. I was gonna read some of the ones that did really well so far. Neo 3, Cairn.
Yeah, Karen was one that I would have taken if we did it earlier because I knew that game was going to be really solid. Obviously, and then like same thing with like Yakuza 3, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and its new DLC did not do very well, just because it wasn't received very well and has like a lot of mess behind it. But
2XKO would have got you 10 points if you picked that one.
I would not have picked 2XKO. I like 2XKO. It would not have been on my list. Shout out to all the people that got laid off from Riot though. Pat and the crew. That sucks ass. So
that really caught me off guard. And that really sucked. So the most recent pick was Connor. Connor made his third pick. He picked Crimson Desert, which is one that I was definitely thinking about. I think there's just it's from the Black Desert Online folks. They're making like their own single player RPG. It looks really big and expansive and a lot of features and a lot of cool stuff in it. So I think it's a great pick. So it's now I'm on the clock here, Cale, with my third pick, and so I want to kind of like talk out what I was leaning towards because I've got a pick, and then Danielle will have two, and then Eric will have two, and then I'll have another. So I'm looking to pick up two really good ones here before it goes back to you and Connor, and essentially 10 games are gonna or 8 more games are gonna come off the board after because I'm kind of right in the middle of the draft order. And so I'm thinking about, right now, right at the top of the list, if you go to draft, is Lego Batman. And like, there's just like a little speckle of worry about me that like, just because a lot of times these Lego games are popular, but haven't been super reviewed well, like 70s, 80s. And it's like, can I get something better? There's Mouse PI for Hire. That's also here.
yeah,
Which has been people waiting for a long time. And I think maybe people have been waiting for so long that maybe expectations have gotten a bit high. And so if it's not all that's drummed up, are they gonna be disappointed? Phantom Blade Zero, also considering that. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. But I also kind of want to take a swing on Beast of Reincarnation because I love
what you're seeing
how
out of that, yeah.
how I love what I've seen of it. And I love how excited that Game Freak and their team are about it. Like they are like, this is the shit. We're so fucking jazzed about this.
I mean, there's a lot of like interesting options here. I don't think Mouse PI for Hire is going to be much. It's going to be one of those indie games that gets enough reviews to be on here.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what the substance is for that game,
Mm-hmm.
like what depth it's going to have. A lot of these, we just don't have a lot of like confirmed dates yet. Like a lot of these are still estimated. Like Crimson Desert would have been a good.
I don't like.
Dust. We don't know. We haven't heard of that game since it got announced.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I could see that being pushed back. Same with Castlevania Belmont's Curse. I was really impressed by what I saw, but is that going to come out this year? We haven't gotten a date.
Capcom or Konami doesn't really have like a track record of like that we can base its its estimated dates on yet.
Yeah, and so really it comes down to, for ones with a date, it's Beast of Reincarnation, Lego Batman, and then Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls are ones that I'm looking at here. Hopefully I can pick up 2 of these in the next like 6 picks. Because,
I will say,
like I said,
I don't know if Danielle's going to take Tokon because I don't know her thoughts on the game. We haven't talked about that specific game.
But will Eric take Tokon?
I don't know, man. Eric's got some taste. I don't know if Tokon's in that
Beast
taste.
of Reincarnations, get past them.
Danielle might take it because she's a Pokemon person, but I don't know if that's like on her radar or something that she'd be into. Duskbloods, again, we haven't seen much.
And I'm excited for it, but I'm gonna hold off on Galactic Racer because it's
no one's taking that within like the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, I can wait. I can maybe wait until like, because I think we're only doing like 5 picks. I think that's what I set it for. And then it goes into the bidding system. Just because I didn't want the draft to be too long, especially because we're doing a rolling draft and not like we're all sitting together.
Yeah. There's not a lot of options with dates.
Yeah. I think because the Lego, by now the one with the highest hype factor of the ones available is Lego Batman. And I'm excited for that. I'm gonna play that when it comes out. But it's like, is that gonna review well? Is it gonna review better than Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, which a lot of Arc System Works fighting games are reviewed really well, and I feel like this is a big one for
this them. This is a big one. This is a new one. It's got flashy stuff. More people are going to be reviewing, but the issue is more people are going to be reviewing this than reveal Guilty Gear Strive or reveal Blaze Blue. So there's going to be a wider pool of people that might not be fighting game people reviewing this.
That's what I'm thinking.
So I would go with what you think you are going to enjoy the most, because that's what I'm doing. I went with Persona specifically not because of that, but I picked Fire Emblem because I know I'm gonna like Fire Emblem. Plus, this is like a hybrid. So, Three Houses,
it's fun.
It's fun. Got almost a 90, and then Engage got an 80. And Engage was like controversial for a Fire Emblem game. So I think it's gonna hit in the middle there, because this is what most people are going to probably, or based on the trailer the only thing that we got is the trailer, is probably a sequel / game that takes place in the same time frame / world as Three Houses, so it might be more similar to Three Houses. That's not my cup of tea when it comes to Fire Emblem, but if it reviews well and it's a Fire Emblem game, I'm going to enjoy it, and it's probably going to hit. So we'll see.
Yoshi and a Mysterious Book, spring 2026.
You got to be real careful with those like Mario spinoffs, because the last several in those vein. Now this is a Yoshi game, but the Peach game didn't review well.
Yeah. I'm taking Lego Batman. I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's
it's a game. It's a
game
I want to play.
Don't get below like a 70, so you're gonna get points.
Yeah, I'm taking it. I'll ask the group if we want to. Maybe I can extend the draft before it's finished. I'll see if I can do that.
Yeah, check the settings and then see. I don't think it really matters though. We're doing fine. But yeah, I think we talked about most of the games we're like actually excited for here, so that kind of wraps up that topic too. But yeah, I want to see more dates for things before I start getting excited about stuff, because most of the games that have dates, I'm kind of just like, okay, we just don't have a lot of enough release dates for things that I'm like super pumped about this year yet. So we'll see. We will see. What else we got?
We're at a minute or an hour 44. You want to quickly run through these?
Yeah, let me just quickly break down like I mean, it's just the Discord and Highguard thing. I'll just quickly touch on the Discord thing. Discord's delaying it.
Xavier's already pissed about me taking Lego Batman, so I'll take that as a win.
But yeah, Discord had the whole age verification thing. We talked about it a little bit last week. They're released a big blog post saying they're delaying it for 6 months in the later half of the year, knowing it's just a bunch of PR talk about, oh, we've heard you, should have provided more details about our intentions and how the process works, blah, blah, blah. No one's buying it. This is just them, like, they got caught using a very controversial, not just caught doing this because it was not a secret. They got caught using a company that has been known for digital surveillance, owned by, guess who? The people who own fucking Paramount. Or whatever I think they do. I don't know. Regardless, they're all the same. All these trillionaire, billionaire people who want to control everything are all the same. They just want your ID. Freaking Kansas is taking away trans people's driver's licenses, making life hell for people for no reason other than they just don't agree with how you're living, even though you're not hurting anybody, because anything that's not fitting with their ideals is hurting people. I could go on and on. This sucks.
It's important just to remind people that, like, the rich and wealthy elite people are the ones pitting you against immigrants, trans people, people of color, any LGBTQ person, because they make money when you're mad at them. And
it's that picture of the guy, the three people at the table eating with the cookies, and it's like, oh, he wants to take your cookie.
Yeah,
it's like, really?
It's like the old wealthy white guy with like a big plate of cookies, and then next to him or on either side of him, there's one like working class guy with one cookie,
and then someone with no cookie,
immigrant with no cookies, and then the rich guy's like, hey, he's trying to take your cookie, and it's like, yeah, it's that they want you fighting each other, so they make money off of it, and so you don't really gang up on them and see what they're really doing, which is jacked up.
Yeah, they're bad people. So. They're bad people, and they want you to be bad to other people because it helps them be bad to you. But yeah, Discord's like, the way this landed, many of you walked away thinking we're requiring face scans and ID, blah, blah, blah. None of this matters. What they're saying does not matter. This is just them saying, oh, we got caught. We got a bunch of backlash. We're going to wait 6 months. We're going to try again with a different company because of the landscape of how this is affecting a bunch of different like age verification stuff, face scan stuff that's being required in like the UK. Moral of the story here, and we're just going to move on to the Highguard stuff after this. Don't trust these companies. If there's an alternative that you and your friends can use, go use it, because this is not going to change, and they're just going to keep trying to push this through, especially without Discord as a product is trying to push itself. And they're probably going to go public at some point, which means they're just going to keep trying to abide by the system, because if they're public and abiding by the system, they gain more money off of this. So if there's a Discord, discordlist.com or something like that, you can go find on like social media that people have basically like listed a bunch of different options for Discord side like stuff that's similar to Discord. It lists like all the things that they do similar to Discord. So you might have to have multiple things, but like TeamSpeak is an option that you can have to just talk to friends. If you need like group chat systems, there's options for that. There's alternatives. Those alternatives are going to start acting on this pretty soon if they haven't already, because Discord is going to start losing market share because of stuff like this. It's not going to lose the majority of market share. So if you're just a casual person that has the Discord group with your friends to play games, you don't got to worry about this too much. Just keep an eye on it, because it's not going to get any better.
Correct.
So
speaking of not getting any better, let's talk about
let's wrap it up talking to Highguard.
So we've talked about this a lot frequently, just because it's interesting, and this was obviously like a big talking point at the Game Awards. But obviously the game's not doing well. They laid off a bunch of people, and now they are quickly pivoting to a new game mode, which is, they say, is simplified, but really just takes away the looting and the
It's almost like hero shooter Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah, now it's just like Siege or like a Valorant, where it's just like it's just the like attacking a base and trying to plant the bomb. Which, like, I don't think that's the solution, because we pointed out that the stuff that they have in the game, like the mechanics, can be cool. It's just all a bit too much. And like, I think the looting stuff and the different systems was actually kind of fun, but it's just
unbalanced, not polished, like not enough.
Yeah.
Went into those, not enough went into like making everything mesh to make it the entire experience good. And now they're like cutting corners essentially.
Yeah.
Not only they're cutting corners,
but
go ahead.
There's also a bigger story Jason Schreier put out a report today
Yeah.
about sort of the making of High Guard and what went wrong. And obviously I believe it. So usually I believe he's made this article free on Bloomberg, so you don't have the subscription. I would highly advise everyone go read it because he does good work, and if you can read it without having to, I love the work Jason Schreier does. I'm not paying $200 a year for a Bloomberg subscription because I'm not a
No.
business. And I'm
Thankfully,
not,
they continue to pay him
um,
a lot of money to do his work. So that means someone is paying for the Bloomberg subscriptions.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, Oh, yeah, Bloomberg gets tons of subscriptions from like businesses and what's various companies and and rich people and like people who are interested in stuff. So like, they don't need gamers who are not willing to spend that uh to pay up. But essentially, it's originally designed to be a survival focused shooter in the mode of Rust. They pivoted to a more competitive shooter focused design. The survival craftings were streamlined to the game, which ended up coming to what they call raid shooter. That's the terminology they were using. Um, they didn't have an open player beta, but they were committed. They were committed to having a shadow drop, which multiple developers told Bloomberg that hubris was to blame for them not changing course sooner, thinking that past success was indicative of High Guard's future chances in an
we
ever
talked
more
about
crowded
that
and
last
hostile
week. Yeah.
gaming market. We talk about this a lot. This just confirms it that they
They
because
thought the
Apex
Apex
Legends
model would
worked,
have worked again, even though they didn't have
which was 7 years ago now,
7 years
that it would just
ago
work
and under
again.
the huge umbrella
Yeah,
to
and
like
before the
smooth everything out.
pandemic, before a pandemic happened, which completely changed the gaming industry. Yeah, just a big misfire. I encourage people to go check out that article, and hell, try the new High Guard game mode if you have it installed still. But I won't because today the Marathon Server Slam has gone live, and so now it's a week of playing the last test for Marathon. They're just going to stress test the servers, see what breaks, and get everything sorted before the game releases in about 2 weeks. I played a couple matches before we recorded. I did one with the squad, with a bunch of console players who weren't talking to me. So and I was also trying to learn what I was doing, so that was a little confusing. Then I did a solo one because that's what I'm used to doing with Arc Raiders. And I died to the enemy NPCs right before I teleported away or extracted. So I'm excited to actually. The game looks and sounds cool. The shooting is cool. The UI, if you've been playing Arc Raiders, feels a bit more overwhelming and a little bit more confusing, but I think it's just going to take time to get used to. Like I said, I played for 2 games, like an hour and a half total screen time with it already. I just want to spend some more time with it. We're going to try it apparently this weekend. You, me, and
Yeah,
Desmond, I
Des
think,
said
said
he's
he
down
wanted
too.
to
Yeah.
play. So we'll try it. We'll probably get shit on, but it's gonna be fun. I think it's going. Oh, we'll quickly touch on numbers so far. Keep in mind it is a Thursday, so it's not like it needs to pop right, but it's already at 100. It peaked at 143,000 earlier this
Good.
afternoon.
Yeah, it's got
It's
good early signs.
currently at 116,000. For
Is this a
comparison,
free to play or is this you have to own the game to do it?
no, this will be like Arc Raiders. It'll cost $40.
Yeah.
But then
No, no.
it's
I
it's
mean
and then
the server slam.
oh yeah, Server Slam's free. Yeah,
Yeah,
just hop right in.
that's what I thought. So we gotta put that out there before we
Um,
say that. But this is
yeah,
good early
it is
signs of
it.
interest levels at the very least.
Yes, I think there's going to be lots of comparisons to Arc Raiders, but that game has also shown that there is a market for this kind of game.
Yeah.
Do I think this game will be as successful as Arc Raiders? No, I do not. But I do think it is going to be sustainable. I think it's going to have a market and have a player base that they can look at and say this is good. We can go forward with this and we can add to this.
I
And
hope
grow
when
this
this
over
game
time.
launches, the episode after this game launches, we can sit here and say, dang, I'm happy that there was a successful launch for this game and there aren't massive layoffs afterwards. And we're not going to compare player counts because we're going to have a good time talking about another good game releasing instead of
Yes.
what happened with High Guard because
Yeah.
of apparently the hubris of the people internally that
Yeah.
just misjudged the landscape of everything, just like most live service people have misjudged the landscape of literally everything going on right now.
I'm trying to remember because when High Guard came out on a Monday, which
Yep.
was wild decision, and I'm trying to think like the highest it ended up getting to.
It was
It peaked on a Monday,
just under 100,000.
97,000, and then it never got over 50 after that first day.
Yep.
And then within a week, it
It was
never
down to
got back over
10.
10,000.
Yeah, but it was under 10, and
And
now it's struggling to hit 2.
is currently, I mean, it is currently at 387 players
Yep.
total.
That game is dead. And that's not something I say lightly. That game is like, after the layoffs, its days are numbered. There's not a lot that can be done to save.
It's it's currently half of what Concord's all-time Steam peak was.
Yeah.
Which still puts into comparison how devastatingly
bad Concord was,
of a failure Concord was. That even Highguard, which is seemingly
on its way
die,
it's on its way out.
It was not even that bad.
Look, and it's not that Highguard's a bad game. It's just that, as we said before, the landscape of live service games is so competitive. You're not just competing with live service stuff. You're competing with literally everything on the market, including other areas of entertainment. Like, I haven't played Marvel Rivals in almost 2 weeks just because I've been reading more and playing single player stuff. So if you can't beat me, like my attention being pulled to reading manga and like books and playing like single player stuff, then you're not beating people that are playing Fortnite every night.
Right.
It's what it is. The landscape of live service games has changed. The landscape of what you have to do to even prep yourself for a live service game has changed. Like what you have to do, everything that goes into it. And a lot of these people don't, a lot of these companies that do this, even if they do do this, because a lot of the games that do come out do have a plan and do have a strategy and are different. But apparently, based on Schreier's reporting here, while the idea was there, the execution you can't shadow drop it without testing. There's no reason you shouldn't have been like, oh yeah, we're gonna like have a test period for the month that the game is already known.
Because this is the case for writing, cooking, any skill, any hobby, anything you do where you're gonna share it with other people in some way. Like, you can't just make it, look at it yourself, subjectively, and go, oh, this is great because I made it, and why would it be bad? And then just put it out there. Like, that's why writers have editors. That's why when you cook, you share it with other people, and they tell you their face.
I shared a picture of like I needed to cook a bunch of stuff for dinner the other night, or for lunch the other day, and it was like grilled chicken, like I made grilled chicken, refried beans, Spanish rice, queso, and onions in like just a slop bowl of burrito mix, and put it and put it on toasted tortillas with a little bit of Tabasco, and it's like, tastes great. Immediately shared it with some friends in a cooking channel in one of my friends' Discords. People were like, where are the greens? And I was like, you think I got peppers if I'm slop cooking? Like, I put green chili in there, green chili and onions. Like,
that's good. I've been loving these like pre-made breakfast burritos that you get at Costco. They have like green chili and like sausage and cheese, and they're so good. I'm
almost out of all the fresh, so we bought 3 dozen breakfast burritos from a place in New Mexico that is Golden Pride. Shout out if you know anywhere in Albuquerque area or just New Mexico in general. But they do fresh green chili breakfast burritos, and they're just unmatched anywhere. Like, they do their own tortillas and stuff too. I brought like 36 of them home in a freezer bag. We froze them. We're almost out already. It's been a month and a half. We're almost out. Me and my dad have gone through almost all of them. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to get them again.
No.
But yeah.
Such is life.
Yep. And as life, things keep going. So since this is almost 2 hours long, for people listening to this, by the time this episode comes out, which will either be the Monday after we record or maybe the Thursday, depending on what I do for Pokemon Day, because Pokemon Day is tomorrow when we're recording this, there'll be something Pokemon related on the channel, whether it's just me talking about it, or if I have someone else on to do just like a shorter Pokemon Day discussion for that, because we're going to get a lot of announcements for that. So that'll either be out already, out after this. We'll figure out that at some point. But if something is coming out, it'll be out by the time you're seeing this. Until then, God, I hope the games industry can just settle down.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can talk about. We did want to talk about some games we were excited for. We can do that next week. Hopefully, there's no big.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit with the draft, but yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll probably we should have our draft finished by the next time we record, so then we can talk about that, and then just sort of talk into sort of the games that we picked or the others picked, they were really high on. No, not necessarily games that are going to review well, but Galactic Racer is
what
great
we're what we're most excited for, because we haven't really talked about that yet.
I can't wait for that game, but anything else? We're good.
Nope. I'm gonna wrap it up. My dad's been calling me for the past like 10 minutes, being like, "Where are you? I need help in the barn." And I'm like, "I told you I was gonna be busy until like 6. Why do you never like listen to my time frames? You didn't tell me when I was like had 2 hours early in the day to help you." So I get to go lift a kayak now.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, very fun. But until next week, have a good time with your games.